Om Shanti, this is Sakar Murli of 15th Feb 2023. Essence, sweet children, the purance of yoga is most valuable for you because it is in this purance that your sins will be burnt away. Question, which children have the knowledge of the seed and the three very clearly in their intellects? Answer, those who churn the ocean of knowledge. The early morning hours of nectar is very good time for churning knowledge. Wake up early in the morning and let your intellect remembers the one Baba. Let the surrenderless chant continues. There is no need of say Shiv Baba in the subtle or physical way. Remember him within your intellect. Om Shanti. The spiritual father sits here and explains to the spirits, that is, he explained to the children. The father says, I also have a body and this is how I am able to speak. You should also think, I am a soul and I am listening through this body. You have to imbibe this knowledge very well, just as the father has imbibed it. Knowledge is imbibed by the intellect of your souls, just as it is in the Father's intellect. So this intellect should imbibe it. The explanation of the seed and the tree is very easy. A gardener has knowledge of how a huge tree will emerge by planting such and such a seed. Baba explains that this also has to be imbibed in your intellects, just as all of your remembrance in my intellect. So it should also remain in your intellect. That will only happens when you tune the ocean of knowledge. The early morning is very good time for tuning the ocean of knowledge. You don't have any other business etc. at that time. People also perform devotion early in the morning. They go here and there and or sit somewhere and chant a name or sing a song or make a lot of noise. Some just say Rama Rama internally. That is the soundless chant of devotion. Some even rotate a rosary. You don't need a say Shiva Shiva. The things that people do on the path of devotion should not happen in knowledge. Many have the habit of chant Shiva Shiva. You do not need to say Shiva Shiva either in the physical or subtle way. You children understand that our Father has come. He don't definitely come in the someone's body. He don't have body in his own. He is beyond rebirth. Rebirth takes place in the human world. Lakshmi and Narayan are the two forms of Vishnu. People say Dev, Mahadev. Deity, great deity. Brahman and Vishnu have a connection with each other, whereas Shankar has no connection at all. This is why he is given greater importance. He does not take the birth. He receives a subtle body. Shiv Baba doesn't even have a subtle body, and this is why he is the highest on high. He is the unlimited Father. You children understand that you are claiming the unlimited inheritance of the happiness from the unlimited Father. You have to follow the Father's Srimad completely. It is through those who have remembrance and inspired others have remembrance because Babas help us. Remember the Father and the inheritance. Baba continued to explain to you children that your 84 births are now almost completed and very little time have remains. In the play, actors understand when only half the hour remains that They will never go home. They continue to watch the clock. You are the unlimited fuse clock. It has been explained that you now have to return home. By remembering the Father, your sins will be absolved. In no one other scripts is easy to yoga mentioned. They are to do great deal of Hatha yoga. The Hatha yoga, they have to make lot of efforts. You mothers are not able to do that. You don't have to sit in special posture like Hatha yoga do. Yes, you do not have a seat in the discipline in the gathering. This is Raj Yoga. You have to sit in the semi-lotus position. By your sitting in yoga in such a royal way, there will be intoxication in the Hatha Yoga. They interlock their legs. Baba doesn't give you such difficulty. However, there has to be a slight difference in sitting in the ordinary way of the sitting in yoga. You are studying Raj Yoga and you should sit such a way that human beings understand that this is Raj Yoga. There are your royal matters. You are being made into the kings of kings by the unlimited Father. You should remember such a Father again and again. You do not remember the Father in the golden age. You only remember yourself in the iron age. Souls either know the Father nor themselves. They simply call out the Father. You have now come to the know Baba have very clear. No one else understand that the Father is a dot. They say that He is very subtle, and yet they also say that He is brighter than 1,000 suns. Those things doesn't match. Since they say that He is beyond name and form, how can they say He is brighter than 1,000 suns? Previously, you also used to think in that way. The Father says this explanation had to be given later on the drama. The subtlest and deepest aspect have to be understood and they explain to others. Don't think why we are told previously that God has brightened and 1,000 suns and that we are now told to He just a dot. It is only when someone is studying for the ICS, Indian Civil Services, that he could speak about the IAS and how could speak about the beforehands. There is no need of to be confused about this. According to the drama, when Baba has to be explained, he will explain, Baba will explain few further because the Father's influence has to be spread. Just as you are souls, in the same way, He too is a soul. He resides in the Supreme Abode. He is called the Supreme Soul. When He comes here, He gives knowledge. The Father says, when the world becomes impure, I come to purify it. They call out, O purifier, O remover of sorrow, bestower of happiness. Come. He comes at the confluence age. When the night is over, the day will be begun, and He will be end at the old world. He will explain the reach your karmatic stage at this the end. He has to live at home. You must not leave that. Remain as pure as a lotus flower while forming connection for the lovely food of your bodies. Deities were completely pure, but how would they become like this? Surely they must have made effort in order to receive their reward. Their reward was created according to their efforts. As are the actions, so will be the rewards. This continue to be happen. You have now found the Father, the one who teaches you how to act. You have to remember him very well. You are adopted children. There is a great deal of adoption among the Marwadis, a tribe of India. You too are adopted. You are not born through the womb. The womb. When someone is adopted, he remembers both his father. Until the very end of this life, he remembers those children. He really is also the father who adopted him. You also know how they used to belong to those children you are now becoming. You know that you have been adopted by the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul. He is the creator of heaven. For how long does his creation last? For half a cycle, Ravan is creator of hell, and his kingdom also lost for half a cycle. From Sato Pradhan it becomes Tamo Pradhan. This has to be understood. If you don't understand something, you can ask when there is an eclipse of sun or the moon. They say give a donation or eclipse will be removed. The sun and the moon are memorable of the father and mother. Here both male and female experience an eclipse. This is why it is said a year. Give the donation of the 5 vices. This is eclipse once or twice in a year. Here it is a question of every cycle. Once only does the father come to take this donation. Human beings have been completely ugly. This is the iron age when one real gold has alloy mix in it and it becomes tarnished. There is new foam and old foam. There is a difference between a newborn baby and old person. A little baby is very sweet and lovely. Everyone kisses a baby and take it in his lap. When the body becomes old and decayed, they said it is better ye renounce it. Why should more pain to be endured? A soul shades a body and takes another. Here you don't allow the sick to die, because the more they listen, the better to eat. Let them continue to remember Shiv Baba and inheritance. People forget everything when there is a ill and lot of pain. However, the one in the whom they have to faith appearance in front of them at this time. Your promise is, mine is one Shiv Baba and none another. So why do you remember someone else? The Father says, you should not remember anyone except me. It is said, someone who remembers his wife at the end will reach the destination accordingly. Although they recite the full of these vices, they do not understand the meaning of it. All the things they remember, the path of devotion, are from the confluence age. At this time, you simply have to remember the Father and the inheritance. The status of the Sri Narayan is very rewarded. And so the full meaning of this should be your intellect. Many people remember it without understanding the significance of it. At this end, whoever you have to most love for the remembrance, you have to remain very conscious. You only have to remember the one Father. The Father says, Manmana Bhav. You children says, Baba. We meet you every cycle. We come to Madhuban and receive the knowledge from you. This is the mantra that disciplines the mind. The Sadguru gives you such a mantra that you become memorial. This is the mantra to conquer Maya. Due to this, they say that Tulsidas rubbed some sandalwood on the stone, and the god then appearance and given him to tilak of the sovereignty. That applies to this time and the remember later on. You children are receive the unlimited tilak of sovereignty by remembering the father and the inheritance. If you leave the body in the remembrance of the father and the kingdom, you receive the tilak of sovereignty. It is not that only you have received. There is the rosary of 108 and also the rosary of 16108. Now simply remember Baba accurately. For Baba, it said your ways are means by conqueror. Only you know that. That is accurate. He is who is grant salvation. He is the one who knows. Previously, you simply used to sing this without understanding the meaning of it. This is called meaningless. There was no attainment at all while giving donations and perform charity, etc. Human beings have continues to without achieving anything. Everything has become meaningless and has devilish dictates being followed. This one used to worship Narayan, and from being worshipped, he is now being worthy of worship in the practical way. You children, you have to remember this family, otherwise your sins will not be absolved. These few rents of yoga most valuable. You also receive liberation some way that they want peace of mind. Ask them first of all, tell us who made you peaceless. Previously you were peaceful. You have now become peaceless, and this is why you ask this peace. The whole world needs peace. Nothing can be achieved by just one person receive peace. The whole world is not going to become peaceful and just because one person receive peace. Who made you peaceless? They become confused. It is explains that there is the land of peace, the land of happiness, and this land of sorrow. There are very few human beings in the land of happiness. At this time, all other souls are the land of peace. You will receive peace. There, you don't receive it. Here, it is the land of sorrow, and there is peacelessness at the time of sorrow. This is also very easy to explain to anyone. There are only the one Father who gives in the inheritance of the peace and happiness. In the golden age, there are both peace and happiness. Here, souls want their mind and to become peaceful, but you have to go home. Your supreme abode of the, however, no impure soul can be go up there, and so this is why the Father explains, remember me, and your final thoughts will lead to you and your destination. Remember the Father and the inheritance. However, Maya is must that she doesn't allow the become pure. Just look how innocent ones are assaulted. Same cannot remain without poison. Baba gives many type of news. The greatest violence is lust, the enemy. The Father says, children, renounce poison. Do not dirty your faces. They say, yes, we will try. This is the poison that causes your sorrow from the beginning through middle and the end. However, it is not in your fortune. They do not listen. When the Father sits here and tells the souls that from today He should not indulge in vice. He simply looked down. Lust is the greatest enemy. It is not a good thing. This is a victorious world. Having vices, everyone is impure. In this golden age, all are completely viceless. Acha, to the sweetest, beloved, long lost and now found children, who have come and meet the Baba before a cycle, that is, after 5,000 years. Love, remembrance, and the good morning from the mother, the father, Bab Dada. The spiritual father says Namaste to the spiritual children. The spiritual children says Namaste to the spiritual father. Essence for Dharanam. First point. Very little time remains. Therefore, become completely helpers of the Father. Remember the Father and the inheritance and inspire others to do the same. Second point. In the final moments, only the Father should be remembered. For this, let your heart have love for the one Father. Don't remember anyone except the Father. Be very cautious about this blessing. May you become the equal to the Father by making your thinking, speaking, and doing equal. Bab Dada now wants to see all the children completely. Bab Dada now wants to see you all children complete and equal to him. In order to become complete, let your thinking, speaking, and doing are equal. You have to make all the preparation. For this, you have this thought and you also desire it, but the desire will only be fulfilled when you will become ignorant of the knowledge of all other desires. Many little desires do not allow this one desire will be filled. Slogan. In order to experience the Avyakta and Karmatit states, make your words, actions, and way of your life equal. Om Shanti.